Devotees, my pravachan for this final puja of 2013 is how to become a better you. How was your 2013? Did you make resolutions on the night of December 31st, 2012? Did you achieve what you set out to achieve 1 year ago for 2013? If not, how much did you achieve out of that? When I started to work in the government service, I had an old Indian boss. And one of the things he told me, many things he told me, but one of the things that resonate in my mind still is that more than my best I cannot do, less than my best I will not do. That's why I would always strive to do my best. And if I strive to do my best, what happened with my resolution 1 year ago that I would have made? Why do we all make resolutions? It's because we want to become better in some way. Some way we want to improve our lives. We try, some of us, to curb habits that take away our health, habits that take away our peace of mind, habits that even take away our wealth. We try to exercise, we try to eat right, we learn about dieting, we learn about so many things because we want to become better, not because we want to suffer. Not because we want to see food and dribble over it and can't eat it. No, we want to become better human beings. Some of us try religion, try spirituality, try so many things. And a lot of us did not achieve 100% what we set out to do and achieve 1 year ago. Because we try to do this and we try to do that, and a very common thing happens. Betty, a senior in temple on Sunday, well, Babs, I go try. You will never come. Babs, I go see, you will never come. Because you yourself, you're swinging Siddha, Sadha. You're not sure about what you want in life. And in life, the achievers know what they want. And those who just Siddha, Sadha, Chalme, they just go how it hangs, so it swings in Trinidad language. That's what they do. You just go through the motion of life. You don't live life. Life lives you. But when you know what you want, then you must first try to find out, how do I go about getting what I want? So first you have to know what you want. Stop trying to do things. Know what you want, find out, get the means, whatever it means, the know-how, technology, how to go about to achieve it. And then you persist and you persevere, and in that way, you would be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life. A lot of people waste their time every day in trying to do a lot of things, and in the end, to the end of each day, they would have done nothing. We could make 1,000,000 sankalp in our minds to do certain things in our minds. But 1,000,000 good intention thought cannot equate with one little good intention action. See? Thoughts that's just that. We hear in a different level, thoughts are things, yes. But thinking about something and doing something, it's like chalk and cheese. It cannot compare. You can only talk about it, or you can only get into action when you start doing, not just thinking about it. In spirituality, it's different. But to achieve certain goals, you have to, while you think of the action, you have to do whatever is required to achieve the goal. When people come to see me, one of the questions I love to play with Tell me, who is the most important person in your life? And I would write. Sit on my desk, I would write. First is this one, first my husband or my wife, then my mother, then my children, then God. And you'd be amazed, most times they would list 10 things and they are nowhere in the first 10 priority in their lives. The human being from early ancient scriptures have documented the priorities of human beings. First is stomach, food. Second, get a couple of leaves to cover your skin, clothing. Then you put 2 carrots over your head, shelter. Now we have galvanized, shelter, housing. Then we put a few grains to eat tomorrow, security. Then you sit down under the tree and you wonder, I wonder who make me. I wonder who make all these things. Number 5, in order of priority in the human psyche, from ancient time, God comes number 5. A lot of us put God first. If you are dead, God means nothing to you. If you are helpless on a bed, God means nothing to you. God means nothing to you. If you can't help yourself, what is the meaning of God for you? And that's why we have to understand the number one, the most important person in your life is you. And you come before God. Yes, you come before God. Because if you're not here, God has no meaning for you. God would have meaning for who is left behind, not for you who has gone. It would be a different experience altogether. But you must take care of you first. And when we're talking about people, one of the things in priority, oh, I love my mommy and I love my daddy and I love my children and I love and I love and I love God and I love Hanuman and I love anything. But you never loved yourself in the first place. And love is something you cannot buy it in the shop. Love is something your parents cannot give you for you to use at a later date. Even though they would love you to death. But they cannot give you. You have to learn the art of generating this something from inside of you, love. If I ask you for a nice persimmon or a kaki for the French people or European people, or rampal for people in Delhi, some of you would be lost what I'm talking about. And I said, could you give me a kaki? I love that. I love persimmon. And you'd be lost because you can't give me any. Or if you know about it as well, Babs, it is out of season. You could only give me if you have it. Only then you could give me something. In the same way, you cannot give anybody love. Don't give them empty words. Oh, I love you. But you don't have any for yourself. You have to love you first. Love you. And the excess out of you, then you could share it with your spouse and your children, your parents and your neighbors and friends. You must have it first. Only then you can share it. And when you start loving yourself, then you would need to take care of you. I ask many people, what did you do today for you? What did you do yesterday for you? Oh, I get up, I cook, I see by the children, I do that, I go and do work. What did you do for you? And the things that you do for you is what you can take it with you for the next life. You could take it with you for the next life. Dhan, Daulat, Kutum, all these things you can't take it. You would leave it behind. Somebody else would take care of it, not you. So we have to learn to do things that we can carry. Yes, you can carry things through the cremation fire and to the next level of your existence. We can. But when you want to start doing things for yourself, then we think, in the very first book of Hindi, when I was a little boy learning Hindi, there was the Bachcho Ki Kitab series of book. Bachcho Ki Kitab, book 1. Very first sentence that you learned to write in Hindi, ancient time, was Kasrat Kar. I will never forget it. Exercise. If you have a nice, beautiful body, you need to exercise. And some of us go to the gym and spend $200-300 every month. What? It's fine. Exercise. Because if you don't exercise, then this body becomes useless. You might be alive, but you would not be living. It's two different things. Now, all over the world, yoga, 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 yoga. Every Christian church in America and Canada has yoga classes. How many mandirs has? Oh, we take it. Yoga is ours, man. Yoga is ours. What are we doing about it? See, yoga is a union of body and mind to discover your spirit. Everybody is doing it except us. We are taking our own tradition, what has been handed down from thousands of years, and we are taking it for granted. And everybody else is learning about it, and they're making themselves better human beings. We come from that beautiful, rich tradition of Sanatana Dharma, where yoga is embedded in our culture. And yoga constitutes two parts: body and mind. Physical exercise and discipline in the mind. Handling the mind, handling the thoughts. And for my pravachan to conclude the series of 2013 pujas in our mandir, as a man thinketh, so is he. Was it Shakespeare? As a man thinketh, so is he. For 2014, we should look at thoughts, emotions, visualizations, and action. 4. Put your thoughts and think about and picture of what you want to achieve in 2014. Fix it in your mind and be passionate about it. Generate your emotions into achieving what you have thought about. So it's a thought, and then you generate some emotion, some energy, some power into that thought, and then you start seeing the outcome of what that thought is going to bring you. And then you put yourself into action and you will achieve it. And if we follow thoughts, emotions, visualization, and actions, whatever you decided that you want in the coming year, you will have it. Don't try to do it, just do it. And like that, your goals for 2014, when we come back here at the end of 2014, we would all be able to say, yes, Pandit, I have done it. Boli Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. Hand you over back.
प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. For those of you who would like to go to the Shivalingam at this time to perform the Bilva Ashtakam, Eka Bilvam, Shiva Arpanam. With the offering of one bay leaf, Eka Bilvam, Shiva Arpanam, you get the immense benefit, blessings of Bhagwan Shiva. If you are interested in going to the Shivalingam, please go from outside so that we will not disrupt those who are sitting to the front. I'd like to say so very happy I am that Geeta ji brought her mom, Maji and auntie and all the elderly folks who are here with us. You are literally a blessing in all our lives to see that at this age you have found not only the physical strength but your mental, your spirit is still strong to say, I want to go to Mandir. Tonight I'm asking you to please join. Eka Bilvam, Are Eka Bilvam, Shiva Arpanam. Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namah 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 Shivaya Namah Om 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 Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Shivaya Namah Vidalam Trigunaparam Trinetra Chakriyayudam Trijanma Papa Samharam
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
ईशकै बिल्वपत्रैश्च अच्छिद्रैः कोमलैः शुभैः तत्पूजां करिष्यामि
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
कोटिकन्या महादानं तिलकपर्वतकोदया काञ्चनं शीलदानेह
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
काशित्रेहानिवासं च कालभैरवदर्शनं प्रयागे माधवं दृष्ट्वा
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
इन्दुवारे व्रतं स्थित्वा नीराहारो महेश्वर नक्तं हंस्यामि देवीश
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
रामलिङ्गा प्रतिष्ठश्च दैवहितकृतं तथा तथा कारीचि सन्ताना
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
अखण्डबिल्वपत्रं च आयुकं शिवपूजनं कृतं नाम सहस्रेण
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
उमाय सह देवेश नन्दिवाहनमेव च अस्मदीपान सर्वाङ्गम्
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
सालग्रामेषु विप्राणां
तथाहं दर्शकोपयो
यज्ञकोटिसहस्रश्च
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
कन्तिकोटिसहस्रेषु अश्वमेधशतकृतौ कोटिकन्या महादानम्
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
बिल्वानां दर्शनं पुण्यं स्पर्शनं पापनाशनम्
अघोरपापसंहारम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
सहस्रवेरपादेषु ब्रह्मस्थापनमुच्यते अनेककोटीनाम्
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
अन्नदान सहस्रेषु सहस्रोपनयन्तरा अनेक जन्म पापानि
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
बिल्वाष्टकमिदं पुण्यं यावते शिवसन्निधौ शिवलोकमवाप्नोति
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
ॐ देवाष्टकमिदं
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
शिवसन्निधौ
एकबिल्वं
शिवलोकमवाप्नोति
शिवार्पणम्
शिवेन सह
एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम् 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 एकबिल्वं शिवार्पणम्
Umapati Mahadev ki. For those of you who would have brought your prasadam to make offering before the puja and the first half of this evening's program comes to an end, you're welcome to go to the Bedi. If you have your prasadam, the same way, if you can go from the outside so you don't disrupt those who are sitting to the front. For those of you who can see on the screen, just at the break of midnight tonight, we will be starting the year 2014 with a mantra for the year. And if you haven't received a personal bookmark, I think Geeta was skipping to make sure that the guests receive, but I'm sure we have enough. I think she would have done about 200. So please ensure that everybody see Geeta before you leave to ensure that you have one to take back with you. I want you to repeat this mantra with me. For those of you who will not be here at midnight with us, when you go back to your respective homes, you can join with us. Those of you who will be staying back to perform 108 Homa offering to Agni Devta as we chant the mantra. Please repeat after me. Om.
Om.
Prasanna.
Prasanna.
Thari.
Thari.
Prasanne.
Prasanne.
Prasanna.
Prasanna.
Karini.
Karini.
Hrim.
Hrim.
Swaha.
Swaha.
Om.
Om.
Prasanna.
Prasanna.
Thari.
Thari.
Prasanne.
Prasanne.
Prasanna.
Prasanna.
Karini.
Karini.
Hrim.
Hrim.
Swaha.
Swaha.
Om.
Om.
Prasanna.
Prasanna.
Thari.
Thari.
Prasanne.
Prasanne.
Prasanna.
Prasanna.
Karini.
Karini.
Hrim.
Hrim.
Swaha.
Swaha.
For those of you who would be interested to understand the depth of this mantra, this is a mantra that controls the mind. It is a mantra that brings peace. It brings control over the mind. And some would ask, Panditji, who is the Devi or the Devta that presides over this mantra? He is none other than Umapati Mahadev. He who is known as Kal Raj, he who is known as the one who governs time, the one who dictates the pace and the rhythm of everything in this earth. He is known as Umapati Mahadev. And Lord Shiva is the presiding Devta over this mantra. And for those of you who would like to know how many times, Panditji, should I chant it? Well, that is your choice. At least in factors of 9, 18, 27, 54, 108 is preferred because it brings the maximum benefit of the chanting of the mantra. So, if you can chant 9, no problem. But if you can go in factors of 9 upwards and make 108 at the least with the Jap Mala, your Rudraksha bead Mala, please, you can use that in chanting this mantra. Some would ask, Panditji, how do I need to fast for this chanting? Well, if you are chanting every day, just cleanse the mind. If you can cleanse the body, Om Namah Shivaya. But the most important conditioning that is required for the chanting of this mantra is to prepare your mind. It controls the mind. So whatever you are most comfortable with, if you are living your normal day-to-day life, don't worry about it. Om Namah Shivaya. God knows best. God sees all hearts. God knows all motives. So don't get hung up about what should I fast, how should I fast to chant this mantra. That is up to you. But if you are open, your heart is open and your mind is open, Om Namah Shivaya. So please chant with me together. Om Prasanna Tare Prasanne Prasanna Karini Hrim Swaha. Got that? Alright. One more time before we have this other bhajan. Together. Om Prasanna Thare Prasanne Prasanna Karini Hrim Swaha. One more time. Om Prasanna Thare Prasanne Prasanna Karini Hrim Swaha. Before we conclude tonight, we will be having many more chants before we get to midnight, so you will get the practice of this mantra. Please chant bhajan.
Nataraja, Nataraja, Natan Shekara, Raja, Nataraja, Nataraja,
राजा नतन शेखरा राजा
शिवराजं शिवराजा नतन शेखरा राजा
राजा शिवराजा नतन शेखरा राजा
हर हर नमो शिव शिव नमो
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 शंकर शिव नटराजा
शंकर शिव नटराजा
शंकर शिव नटराजा
शंकर शिव नटराजा
नटराजा नटराजा नतन शेखरा राजा
राजा नटराजा
शिवराजा शिवराजा नतन शेखरा राजा
शिवराजा नतन शेखरा राजा
हर हर नमो शिव शिव नमो
हर हर नमो शिव शिव नमो
शिव शिव नमो हर हर नमो
शिव शिव नमो हर हर नमो
शंकर शिव नटराजा
शंकर शिव नटराजा
शंकर शिव नटराजा
शंकर शिव नटराजा
नटराजा नटराजा नतन शेखरा राजा
नटराजा नटराजा नतन शेखरा राजा
नमः पार्वती पतये हर
नमः पार्वती पतये हर
नमः पार्वती पतये हर
नमः पार्वती पतये हर
हर हर हर हर महादेव
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 नमः पार्वती पतये हर
नमः पार्वती पतये हर
नमः पार्वती पतये हर
नमः पार्वती पतये हर
हर हर हर हर महादेव
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 हरि ओम 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 हरि नटराजा नटराजा नटविशेखरा राजा
प्रेम से बोलो श्री उमापति महादेव की जय. This evening, before we go into the Thanksgiving meal, allow me to join with you for a couple of minutes to share with you RRDS's message for 2014. And for those of you who can read on the screen, can you read together aloud with me? Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. That is our second mantra for 2014. Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. Tonight I want you to look into the future. I want you to stand here or sit here, and for those of you who are joining with us live from different parts of the world, to look ahead, look into your future. Imagine that I am holding a crystal ball in front of you tonight, and I'm saying, look at your life, look into the future. What do you see? Do you see someone who is stronger? Do you see someone who is healthier? Do you see a you that is happier? Do you see a person that is living a life that is fulfilled? Do you see yourself having the blessings and the favor of God? Do you see that God's victory is with you in the next 12 months? And tonight, my friends, I would like to share with you an important reminder. It says, if you can't imagine it, if you can't see it, then it is not going to happen for you. I've said it in the negative so that it makes a difference. If you can't see it, your life. If you can't imagine it, your life. Then, my friends, it will be very difficult for you to make it happen. And dear friends, I want every individual, as you make your affirmation into 2014, to ensure that you are believing that always something wonderful is about to happen. Let us appreciate the words of Bhagwan Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Udharet atmanatmanam. Very beautiful shloka Krishna Bhagwan tells. He says, oh my friend, your mind can be your own best friend, or your mind can be your own worst enemy. And therefore, when we internalize this mantra, always believe that something wonderful is about to happen, it means that we must recalibrate our thinking, our consciousness, and our projection into the future, that something wonderful must happen in the future. But what happens to the person who this year who experienced the death of a loved one? How can that person, they would say, Panditji, my relative died, a good friend of mine died this year. How can I live to believe something wonderful is about to happen? How can you tell someone who would have experienced a significant illness or surgery or ailment this year that something beautiful and wonderful is about to happen? How can you tell someone who may have lost their job or lost their earning potential? How can you tell them and make them know and live a life that something wonderful is about to happen? How can you tell someone who would have had a major disappointment, dear friends, that something wonderful is about to happen? Tonight's message is not about karma, because karma means that whatever has happened is happening, and what will continue to happen, it is based on the perfect accounting system that is this universe. And therefore, what has happened to you, my friends, it is perfect. You know why? Because it happened. And God, in His amazing wisdom, God, in His infinite understanding of what is required to ensure that this universe operates perfectly, would have caused every single one of us to experience that over the last at least 12 months. So whether it was the death of a loved one, the loss of a job, the birth of a child, the inheritance of some property, some gain or loss, my friends, 2013 has gone. We have closed that chapter. It is not that we will forget what has happened. It is not that we will not experience hurt if there was disappointment. But that is why, as I would have said to you sometime before, in a motor car, there is a reason why the rearview mirror is a small piece of glass, and the windshield ahead of you is a big forward-looking glass. The designers of the automobile was very careful and precise in the design, because it means there is a little glass to look behind It is only for caution's sake. But if you are to get to your destination, you have to pay more attention to that big windshield in front of you. And therefore, whatever has happened, it is perfect. It is part of karma making its way, allowing us to navigate and process our past in a perfect way. And therefore, my friends, tonight, on the 31st of December, 2013, if you have not admitted it yet, tonight I want you to admit that because of your past, you are stronger tonight, you are better because your past has happened. And my dear friends, that is what makes it perfect. So let's break up these words. Always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. You see, these words, it is a glance into the future. Always means, the word always, what does always mean? Make sure that every opportunity, you look for that opportunity. Always, not sometimes, not maybe, not possibly, Bhaiya from Bharat, India, welcome. Not sometimes, always believe. You see the word believe. What is a belief? A belief is some sort of subscription, or it is a subscription that there is a power, there is an energy that is beyond the human factor. There is something above us that guides, that orchestrates, that navigates, that conspires to ensure that our life becomes a particular way. And therefore, when you believe, it means that you, notwithstanding the human shortcomings in every one of our life, there will be hurt, there will be disappointment. But when you operate with a belief system, it means that you have partially handed over your reins, the reins of your life, to your master. Wonderful. You see, over this year, we would have spoken about the secret. And last year as well. And what is the secret? The secret says, whatever you think about, it expands. And therefore you have a choice. I ask you to look back again into this crystal ball that I'm holding in front of me. Do you see a wonderful life ahead of you? Or do you see, oh gosh, pressure? Lord, why me? Lord, that is not the future you wish to see for yourself. And therefore, the word wonderful was carefully put there to manifest, to help you to enable an emotion that brings about the life, the future that you want. And therefore, project for yourself, always believe something wonderful is about to happen. Dear friends, tonight I would like to remind you that God has so much in store for you. Start making room in your thinking because God has it waiting for you. I say that again. God has so much. God does not run out. God has so much in store for you. Start making room in your thinking to welcome that which God has for you in 2014. Dear friends, the word is about to happen means look into the future. You must have a vision for yourself and for your children as well. And dear friends, I would like to remind you that every time I speak to my children, and I'm sure you do it as well, we must teach our children, at least I tell Vandana and Keshav, that you must have a life, you must live a life and achieve more than daddy could ever have in his lifetime. You know what that does mean? You know what that means, my friends? It is not to build a sense of ego and pride in the children's mind, but it is to stretch their vision. Don't think that my life is your standard. My life is your minimum standard. And therefore, my friends, when you look into the future and you expect something wonderful to happen in your life and in your children's life, remember, it is to stretch their vision, to enable them to think that more is possible. Because once the mind can think it, the man can make it happen. There's a beautiful saying that goes as I conclude tonight. If you have a 1-year vision, plant flowers. If you have a 10-year vision, plant trees. But if you have a vision for eternity, then cultivate people. If you have a vision of eternity, my friends, then cultivate people. This year, I want you to think and to expand. This year, 2014, your miracle is going to happen this year. Don't just believe it because I'm saying it. I want you to internalize it and know that once you can project it, it can happen. Don't sabotage your own expectations, my friends. And there, when you look into 2014, do a self-assessment. Maybe I might have to change my environment. Maybe I might have to relook some of the company that I keep that influence my thinking. Maybe I need to find a place where I can dream. Maybe I need to take more time to do things that are important to me. Dear friends, when one dream dies, dream another dream. I say that again. When one dream dies, dream another dream. Because if you don't stand for something, my friends, you will go for anything. And therefore, as I urge you to look into the 2014, the year 2014, just a couple hours away, my friends, I am asking you to please repeat with me this affirmation. This is going to be a great year.
Going to be a great year.
This is going to be a great year.
This is going to be a great year.
God's favor is surrounding me.
God's favor is surrounding me.
God's hand is actively guiding my life.
God's hand is actively guiding my life.
Always believe.
Always believe.
I will always believe
I will always believe
that something wonderful
that something wonderful
is about to happen to me.
is about to happen to me.
Then, my friends, go now. Don't leave, but go now into 2014 and make that affirmation happen. Tonight, as I conclude this very simple message into 2014, always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. I would like to close tonight with a very beautiful story. And this story goes like this. One day, a man's daughter called a local Panditji to come and pray with her father who was sick in the hospital. And when the Panditji arrived in the hospital, he saw the man lying in bed with his head propped on two pillows. But something strange. There was an empty chair next to the bed in the room. An empty chair, friends. And the Baba assumed that the old man, someone told him that he was coming. And he asked, "Did you expect me?" And the old man lying on the bed said, "No, who are you? Who are you?" And the Babaji told him his name and he said, "I came to see you, but I saw the empty chair and I figured that you knew I was going to show up." And the old man said, "Oh yeah, the chair." The chair. "Would you mind closing the door?" He's telling the Babaji. And as the Babaji closed the door, the old man spoke to him. He said, "Baba, I have never told anyone this before." He said, "Many times that I went to the temple and I heard Panditji saying, 'Pray to God,' and he explained how to pray to God, it always went over my head. But 4 years ago, a good friend of mine said to me, 'Krishna is always holding your hand. Krishna is always walking with you.' And a friend of mine told me, 'If you want to pray, put a chair next to you and see Krishna on that chair and have a conversation with Krishna.'" The old man said, "Babaji, I have tried it and I love it so much. Because when I speak to Krishna sitting on that chair, I know and I feel that something wonderful is about to happen." Friends, so I tried it, the old man said, and I loved it. So Babaji put some tulsi water in his mouth. Babaji gave him chandan, prayed with him, and Babaji went back home. And 2 days later, Panditji got a call from the man's daughter. "Baba, father has died." And Panditji asked, "Did he have a peaceful death?" And the daughter said, "Panditji, absolutely." Earlier in the afternoon, I visited Pa. We prayed together. He hugged me, he kissed me. And then I bade him farewell. I am sure he would have died in peace. And the daughter concluded the conversation by saying, Panditji, something strange I've seen, and I don't know if it is a good thing or what it means. Panditji, when I got into the hospital, when they called me and told me Papa has died, when I got to the room, I saw Papa with his head, his knees on the ground, and his head resting on the chair. Papa, what does that mean? Dear friends, you know what that means. It means that even in his last moments, he knew and he believed that something wonderful is about to happen. Dear friends, don't think, notwithstanding where you are in your life, whether you're a child, whether you're a young adult, whether you're an elderly adult, or whether you are beautiful as our Ajis in our temple here this evening, tonight, always know that notwithstanding where you are, when you project into 2014, know that God is always there with you. When you know who is walking with you in every moment of your life, my friends, you will never experience loneliness or fear again. So tonight, as we conclude, always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. Prem se bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki